people love brutality. We all have that ability and we all have that want to fight.
We are firemen!
We think it's wrong to have those primal thoughts. It's not. What we found is the ones who are like that, who are a little bit more aggressive, when they start boxing, they control that urge. Boxing gyms, and especially ours, we would like to think it's just the way it is. You walk in and you realise that egos don't exist here. You know, we've got kids who are boxing for Australia, who have fought for world titles, training with a 7-year-old who's trying to lose a little bit of weight or has been bullied at school, and they're the same. You know, like I was never allowed to box because of a medical issue when I was a kid. My world fell apart at the time. Like it's the only time I've sort of ever been close to being depressed or...
Do you feel like your strike rate of identifying a raw talent, you reckon you can separate the ones that you think want to do it and the ones that you think can do it and does do it?
You can definitely separate who wants to do it and who does do it. That's pretty clear because it's just about being...
Sam, thanks for coming on, man. Thanks for having us inside this historical fucking venue.
No worries. Thanks for coming, boys. And welcome.
It's just full of, if you look around, man, it's just full of Aussie.
That's the thing. I'm looking around.
History.
You guys like start the pod. I'm like, guys, I'm just taking this in. Like Rocky would have fought here for sure.
Yeah, it's been called that before. It's my old man used to be called Mickey as well. You know, a lot of people. He reminded a lot of people of Mickey. So that's the feel we want. This is a gym started by two brothers.
Yeah.
Still run by family members, and that's what we want. That's our big ethos.
When did it start, Sam? Can you take us back to when the Brizzi Bros started this in this?
Well, it started before this, didn't it? So
it did. This year is actually our 58th year that we've been open and we've been running.
Wowzers.
So my dad, Cos, and Uncle Ben started it in 1968 after Benny's boxing career had to be cut short due to injury. And it was a garage built in the backyard by my grandfather.
Yeah.
And for him, it was mainly like to keep them off the streets and out of trouble.
Yeah.
You know,
okay.
growing up in Collingwood, being Italians coming over after the war, streets are pretty tough, and he didn't want to see them go down the wrong path. So he built them a gym, and they started training boys there, and literally just snowballed, and here we are still, 57, 58 years later.
Yeah, awesome. So it was put in place not to just enjoy the boxing, but legitimately sort of give the young fellas a thing to do and sort of keep them flying straight.
Yeah, well, I think my uncle was a little bit lost after he had to stop boxing, and Dad at the time was sort of working with the painters and dockers. He was in there, which...
It was a pretty rough time back then.
Real rough time. That was...
Especially in around Collingwood and...
Yeah,
cleaned up a lot now, though, Collingwood.
Absolutely. Yeah, wow. Certain parts, certain pockets. But yeah, absolutely. And... So, you know, and at the time it was a different world, and my grandfather was a little bit concerned that, you know, they could stray out the wrong path and just put something in place, and it's their love. They were obsessed with it ever since, and that's been passed on to myself and my cousins.
Was there boxing gyms, you know, do you know the stories? Was there many boxing gyms around then, or was there, or were your dad and your uncle sort of pioneers sort of starting their own little boxing gym in 68?
Oh, look, there was a lot. Boxing was pretty big back in the day. Like, you had TV ringside and Channel O, so it was on free-to-air TV twice a week.
When there's only 3 channels.
Exactly. So it was on 2 of the 3. So boxing was quite big, you know. Like Lionel Rose, he had 250,000 people when he come home from winning the world title, and Johnny Famishon. Boxing was huge. They were as big as AFL players in those days. But in the area, they were one of the first gyms. There was Leo Berry's in Richmond. There was Snowy Thompson's in Brunswick, where Benny trained as a boxer. So there were gyms around, Jack Rennie, a lot of famous gyms, but nothing out this way. So to an extent they were.
How many years was it in the garage for, Sam?
It was there for about 30 years. Wow. And then once I was born, during the 80s, Mum had enough of all the guests in the backyard every night of the week and didn't want me to be around it. But that was a bad call because I've been here ever since, and she can't get me out of the gym. So
she can't get you back home.
Yeah, exactly right. So we moved here in '88.
Yeah.
And been here ever since.
Yeah, awesome. So you growing up as a young fella, so that was just trying to picture my house at home, like with a full functioning gym out the back.
Yeah.
Lots of lads coming down with their boxing gear.
Heavies rolling through.
Yeah.
Painters and dockers.
100%. Like it's the training's there, but no doubt with a group of the testosterone that's in that garage, there was a bit going on.
Yeah, it was a small gym, and there was only fighters. So now we train people for fitness and for a little bit of self-defense. But in those days, until I was about 15 or 16, we only trained boxers. So it was people who could fight and wanted to fight. and intense sparring. You know, you had guys preparing for Australian title fights, Commonwealth title fights, amateur tournaments, and it was pretty heated back in those days. We had numerous windows smashed by heads because the ring was so small. You know, famous stories of if you sat back on the ropes too far, you got hit with a good shot, your head would break the window.
Through the window?
Yeah, so... No, it was chaotic. It was a proper gym. It was no messing around like it is today. But you wouldn't get away with a lot of the things that happened in most gyms in those days either. So.
Yeah, nice to see your margins around the ropes are just a bit more increased these days, Sammy.
Got a few chippies in the gym, so they've set it up nicely for us.
What do you reckon the secret's been to survive so long? For 58 years, gyms come and go, businesses come and go, things come and go. Like, all good things come to an end, as they sort of say. And 68 years is a hell of a long time for anything. What's been the secret, would you say?
Passion. Like I asked my uncle, still, you know, how does he have the love for it, and how can he be bothered being in the gym still at 78? And he goes, where else would I be? And I think that shines through. I think when people come to the gym, they feel that, you know, because they promoted, they coached. Obviously, Benny boxed. They love it, and treating people properly. Our big ethos here is that everyone's family. Everyone's a Brizzi brother. Would
you say there's been many sort of reinventions along the time? Like you were sort of saying before that obviously it was only fighters originally. At what point did you was it you that once you sort of got involved that you started taking on non-fighters, or was your dad and uncle sort of they made that move earlier?
Yeah, so it was probably 15, 20 years ago when they both retired. They both had various jobs, truck drivers, painters and dockers, owned their own businesses. But once they both retired, they had a little bit more time on their hands. So they started opening the doors just to help the gym out, you know, pay for fees, pay for amenities, that sort of stuff. And that's when we started having fitness, or people for fitness and for different reasons coming into the gym. And until then, we never really even had a woman come into the gym. I remember getting phone calls, and it would be a lady saying, "Oh, I want to box," and Dad would say, "Well, I'm sorry, we don't have the facilities." And so they sort of pioneered themselves, you know. But again, it comes back to being good people and being welcoming. Today in society, we're all about inclusivity and equity, but this gym has been inclusive for 50 years. You know, people of all races, all religions, all demographics, you're all welcome, and there's no judgment, and that shows because there are people who trained with my dad and uncle when the gym opened who are still in touch with us today, who still come by and speak so highly of them. And it's all about how you treat people. And that's everything in life. If you treat people like a shit kicker, they'll remember it. And when you fall, they won't be there to pick you up. But if you help people in their darkest times and you just treat them like a good person, irrelevant or regardless of their status, they'll remember that and they'll be there when you need them.
Well, Sammy, mate, that, you know, to hear you say that just gives me goosebumps, because I grew up in the area, right? We're in Kingsbury. I grew up in Bundoora, just down the road, just down the tram. And like I was saying before, I was so excited to come today, and the shout out Matt Ruggiero who hooked this up.
Oh, the cheeksy.
Yeah, but he hooked this up because, again, like me and Matt grew up across the road together.
Yeah.
So Matt's 10 years younger than me as well. So I understand how he found his way here, because we grew up, we just around Bundoora Football Club and just around the area. Anyone that ever spoke about boxing would say, do you know, Brizzi Brothers, and it was only ever positive and good sentiment. Does that make sense? And that's on the back of, obviously, all the people that have flown through, and now they're out there just selling the Brizzi Brothers gym. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's 10, you know, there's 6 decades of that. Which is why it's so, I guess, saturated, and why I guess it keeps popping up for us young men out this side of town, if that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, boxing has traditionally attracted rough kids, or kids who are sort of potentially going down the wrong path. And so that's where it started from. So if you're working with those kids, you have the temperament and you have the ability to work with anyone, right? And now we've got, you know, middle class. This is a middle class area now. You can't get a house around Kingsbury, Reservoir, Preston for under $1 million. Yeah, which, like, mate, I couldn't go to sleep with a kid without hearing sirens at night. You know, it was the first suburb in Australia to have roller shutters. Preston, you know, little Chicago, Cravalli Street. It was.
Yeah, Cravalli Street.
Cravalli Street.
Cravalli Street's just what?
5 minutes.
5
It's behind
minutes,
our
yeah.
house, behind where the gym was.
Oh,
you know,
mate.
we're Wood Street.
Yeah.
And it's behind. So, mate, I couldn't go to sleep without the sound of sirens. But, any good gym, not just us, any good gym, especially from those days, the old school gyms, they're community hubs. And everyone's welcome. Everyone comes to vent, to learn, to get fit, and just for a little bit of mental health. We've been dealing with mental health before it was even a thing.
What really jumps out to me, Sam, is these organisations and community groups that your family started. Because being inclusive, it's people are big on it now, and let's be inclusive and let's include everyone, which is amazing. But communities like this have been doing that for decades, and your family is one of them.
Yeah, 100%. And a lot of the time in those days, it was subconscious. It was it was just about seeing the person, welcoming them in, and giving them an outlet. There is no pure form of adversity, but success than fighting. Whether it's boxing, MMA, kickboxing, you learn more about yourself getting hit on the chin or just about to be choked out than you do in any other environment. And, COVID for me really highlighted how much it means to people. Obviously, it was the first time we'd shut ever. We were shut for 11 months. And I had our boxers messaging us. We had 15, 16 boxers at the time. At the start, we thought, okay, we'll just ride this out. 6 months in, they've put on 15 kilos or they've stopped. Their relationships have ended, and they just go, we don't know, we're lost without the gym. And sometimes it's just that community. You walk into a place with like-minded people, tell each other, you give each other a bit of shit, here you go, get fucked, whatever it might be. There's no bullshit. This is a real place.
Yeah. Well, when you walk in, you don't walk in with status, right? And that's what I love about it. Like, you're training, there might be 40, 50 people in here. You're all in your gym gear. Everyone looks the same. There's no fancy watches or brands or whatever. It's just everyone's the same. Everyone gets brought down to the same level. And it's humbling, right? Because if you do come in and you are thinking that you are something, then you learn pretty quick that you aren't. It's
real quick. And sometimes we take great pride in that.
Correct. And correct me if I've been in and out of the gyms of recent times, and I've seen it.
Yeah.
It does happen. Like 100%. People and people that come into the gym, it's not like they come in with bad intentions. Yeah. They just come in and don't understand. And then they come in maybe with the wrong attitude or think that you're going about it the wrong way, and pretty quickly, man, there's a couple of whispers, and then they're flying
let's put him in the ring with Jimbo.
Yeah. And then Jimbo sorts him out. He gets the lesson, and I guarantee that kid's still there 10 years later. It's not like it's not like they run him out of the gym. It's more that you sort of get calibrated into how the gym operates.
Yeah, exactly. And today in a lot of sporting teams, you hear about culture. I feel a lot of that stuff is bullshit and it's fabricated. Boxing gyms, and especially ours, we would like to think it's just the way it is. You walk in and you realise that egos don't exist here. We've got kids who are boxing for Australia or for world titles, training with a 7-year-old who's trying to lose a little bit of weight or has been bullied at school, and they're the same.
Yeah,
they're the same.
And that's a fact. Like, because I've experienced that in the gyms, right? Yeah. And it really is that. And that's the confronting part a little bit at the start as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because when you come in new and then you're like, hang on, treat me like the new guy. I'm the new guy. But it's just not how it works, Yeah. But can I ask, Sam, with your dad, was there one specific thing or anything that jumps out to you that you think the way that your dad looked at boxing, or that he tried to instill into you the way to look at boxing?
Not really. So Dad was sort of more the business side of the gym.
So it's more Uncle Ben.
Yeah, Benny's he's still the head trainer now, and he was the more technical side. My dad, when they were promoting, he would go and get the sponsors and organise the deals and that sort of stuff. So his philosophy in life in general was just have a go. And the one thing that I admire about him the most is his ability to just go out and try. He would walk on a union job sites and speak to reps about sponsorship, and he was fearless, you know what I mean? Like, you could have taken him to Buckingham Palace and he wouldn't have been worried by the Queen at all or who was in the room. He could talk to a leper, he could talk to a king, and that's a very rare trait to have, because it wasn't ego, it was just him being him. And so that's the thing that I try and take from Dad, especially now that he's no longer with us, have a go. Just have a red hot crack. It might work, it might not work. But if you do it 110%, you know. Benny, the boxing side, he's so good at judging a fighter and what they need or where they are in their preparation. And he's about longevity. There's life after boxing. You know.
Yeah, that's awesome, Sam. Is there anyone, is there boxers that have come into the gym that you've really remembered and gone, I come in at a certain level and they've just taken off, or, you know, like who are some of the names that sort of pop out to you? Because this has been your life from now till however old you are now.
Yeah,
just churning out Australian champions, Peter.
Yeah, no, we'd like
the
a few
home
more
of Australian
soon.
champions.
Yeah, hopefully a few more soon. But no, there's so many. There's there's guys when I was a little kid, Ross Richmond, and you know they're memorable for various reasons. Susie Ramadan, the first girl we trained, who ended up winning a world title and having a tremendous career. Guys who went to the Commonwealth Games of 13 fights, beat the world number 3 to qualify. So there's so many stories, and boxing is great for that.
What's been your favourite experience? Because you've been Commonwealth Games, Olympics.
Yeah.
You've been, we were talking just before this, I can't remember, 3 continents in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Or about to hit a third. Do you know what I mean? So you're travelling a lot.
Third.
So these crazy, awesome experiences, and that's kind of why we do things.
Yeah.
What's the best experience? What would you say is up there at the moment?
There's a few, for various reasons. We had a guy qualify for the Commonwealth Games. So he was fighting the world number 3. His wife went into labour that day. He flew home to Melbourne, was up all night, and I said, this is over, this is done. And I said, mate, just, it's the birth of your first child.
Enjoy your time.
Enjoy it. We've had a good run. There's always next year. And he said, no, I'm flying up. Flew up that morning and beat the world number 3. And honestly, I've never seen a room full of grown men cry over a fight. And it was like he'd won a world title, He was.
Did he do it on the scores, or did he finish him? Or
No, he won. He ended up going to a countback, which in amateur boxing means it's level, because he had a few deductions. But he won the fight so comfortably, and thankfully the right result was awarded, and just the room erupted. Honestly, such a feel-good story, And going to Paris, being asked to go to Paris as a support coach. Since I was a little kid, all I wanted to do was go to the Olympics for Australia.
What do you reckon the old man would have thought of that? He'd be
pretty proud. I hope anyway,
Of course.
But
well, that's the pinnacle of boxing, really, is amateur Olympic level boxing.
Pinnacle of any sport.
Yeah, I agree, and it's so tough. We were speaking, they have to qualify. Used to be Oceania, but through Asia, and we were talking earlier how difficult that is.
Yeah.
Because of, can you explain to people what you were saying to me, why it's so difficult? Because I didn't realise that we're competing against the Kazakhstans, and that's part of Asia.
Yeah. So for this one, it actually went back to Oceania, which helped in us qualifying 12 out of 13 spots. But when we were in Asia, statistically, Asia is the strongest continent in amateur boxing. So, like you said, we've got Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, who won 5 men's gold medals last year in Paris. 5 out of 5. They went 100%.
That's crazy.
And they probably could have had 2 more. They could have, covered everything.
They had dudes missing out that were...
close fights and, But and then you've got India and China, which obviously population-wise are the biggest countries on earth. And they've got massive budgets. China send a team to qualify, and then they send a team of training partners to all the major tournaments. So you're dealing with a team of 40 or 50 people. So when we were going through Asia, it was hard. And I actually went to an Olympic qualifier in Jordan before Tokyo, and we qualified 5, which at the time was unreal. We were hoping 2 or 3, or expecting 2 or 3, and we got 5.
That's right. Yeah.
So it's so hard to get there. It's a 3-year process, really, to get to the Olympics for a boxer.
And how good are you reckon, and I know we know Benny's obviously, but what about you, Sammy, when they walk in the gym? Do you feel like your strike rate of identifying a raw talent, when they say that they want to do it, you reckon you can separate the ones that you think want to do it and the ones that you think, I reckon, can do it and does do it?
Yeah, can definitely separate who wants to do it and who does do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty clear because it's just about being in the gym and showing me how much you want it.
But has there been anyone that's come in that you've thought, I don't know about you, mate, I don't think you're going to get there, but they've proved you wrong? Do you know what I mean? They've come in and...
Yeah, absolutely. One of the boys who helps us in the gym now, Matty Smith, absolute legend of a human, he come into the gym and I think he was in his late 20s. He had 7 or 8 fights and only won 2. And we thought, okay, well...
So
let's see where we can
2 and
take.
5.
Yeah, like 2 and 6 or something. 2 and 6, and
Smitty.
yeah. At the start, we're like, oh, we're sort of going to have to nurture him, and like we're not sure what we're going to get out of him. It's just the sort of fight by fight or week by week sort of judgment, and he ended up winning an Australian title on his 40th birthday. Yeah, like literally the day he turned 40, the day he became ineligible to box as an amateur. Won the Australian amateur title in Perth. So
what a way to do it,
man! And just chipped away, and like in the end, he only lost to Australian champions and lost to the highest caliber boxers in the country, and no one else beat him. So yeah, like he is the epitome of what hard work does.
And I was going to say, so how do you go from 2 and 5 or 2 and 6, where clearly the world's telling you shouldn't box?
Yep.
To then becoming on your 40th birthday an Australian champion. Like, what was the differentiator? Was it simply just hard work?
Yeah, and just
Brizzi Bros gym.
Good point.
Yeah, look, you've got to have a good coach and you've got to be comfortable in the gym. So and that sort of became evident that he was more comfortable here than when he had been at previous gyms. And it's like anything, if you've got a good relationship, you bring the best out of people, right? So it's very important.
What Sam? Because obviously Benny, being the 1-0 fighter that he is,
I was talking to Sammy about that.
soon to go 2-0 by all reports.
Exactly.
But so he understands going into a gym and where it all gets started. But for maybe myself and the other punters at home, what is it like rocking up, calling, and saying, "Hey, can I come down tonight?" What does that look like? Are we in the ring the first night? Do you keep them on the outskirts, hitting the field with the bags for a bit, and then you go, "Hey, mate, I think you're ready to jump in the ring and have a spar"? Like, for somebody that's been to gyms but not boxing, man.
Yeah, so at the start, it's just teaching them. We teach everyone in the gym like they're going to box. So it's all the fundamentals. It's not a fitness gym. It's not fitness classes. And then if we see they're progressing or they're showing interest that they want to box, we up it a little bit. So they might do a little bit of partner work, or they might work with a couple of our boxers because they can control the spar, or they can control what's happening. When you put 2 novices together, anything happens. Like shit hits the fan, you know what I mean? Because it's that fight or flight notion. And
I've been in those. I've experienced those situations, man. Like,
and they're terrifying, right?
Yeah, they are.
You're shitting yourself, so you lose all control.
So you could lose a good kid
potentially. Whereas we've sort of found if we put him in with someone who has boxed and he's in a cockhead. Yeah. Excuse my language.
No, all good.
Yeah, he's in a cockhead. They learn, so they get hit, but they don't get taken advantage of, or they don't get put in silly situations.
Because you're not trying to knock them out, and
not
what
at the
happens
start.
like when there's 2, I guess, beginners. If you get in there and you feel like the other dude, like it just escalates really quickly, right? Because both of them are shitting themselves. Yeah. Oh, you're hitting me. Well, because before you know it, you're hitting hard. But where if you've got someone with a bit more experience, then they can sort of control it a bit more, slow it down, and then make it a little bit more technical. Yeah. And they're not trying to take your head off. Make no mistake though, Peter. They're still hitting you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you're still getting hit, and
they're teaching you. They're teaching you.
Yeah, it's not like you're getting hit soft. You're just not getting hit crazily and sillily. Does that make sense? And for no reason, you're sort of moving and you're learning, I suppose. Yeah. So.
And you don't have control of your defence, so you turn your head. You make mistakes that you don't want a boxer to make. Exactly, and a good boxer and a good person won't take advantage of that.
Gotcha. Yep. Whilst you're learning, whilst you're coming through,
they'll step off and say, "Mate, keep
shout out my man Yui." I've been in there with
absolutely.
And Yui, dude, I spar is. I think he maybe had 8.
Gave you a little sort of warm up.
I'm still scarred a little bit. No, because I love it, and Yui's the perfect example of a dude that. Man, he could have put me to sleep in seconds. You know what I mean? Like this guy's a serious fighter, but he pushed me and he worked me and he humbled me, but he didn't try and hurt me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It was. It is. It's a humbling. Sam, can I ask Sam? The Brizzi Brothers style. Talk to me, right? All gyms, all gyms. There's so many. there's a gazillion ways, everyone has their own style of fighting, and then most gyms will have a macro sort of style of fighting. Yeah. What would you say the Brizzi Brothers style of fighting is now, and would you say that has evolved and changed since back in the day?
I would say it's sort of an aggressive counter-puncher, so trying to press the pace and then draw your opponent out to set them up for a good shot, but primarily going forward to set the pace of the fight. It's evolved over time and it's changed at various times because of amateur boxing. The scoring's changed, so you have to adapt. What worked in the 80s and 90s didn't work in the early 2000s because you weren't being rewarded for the same sort of thing. But now it's sort of gone back to the old school style in general, because it's pro scoring again. So long story short, 10-9 to win a loser, like it is in the pros.
10-8 must system.
Exactly, yep. 10-8 must system, whereas 15, 20 years ago when I started coaching, it was a computer. If someone scored a point or landed a shot, you would have to have 3 judges press a button within a second of each other.
For it to count.
Yeah, so you're getting like Olympic finals, 5-1, 4-2, the best fighters on earth. So we've had to adapt, and credit to Benny and Dad, they did adapt. But yeah, our style is aesthetically pleasing,
I have experienced it with Matt. So it feels like small movements, moving forward, keeping that range. Keeping that range, man.
Putting them under pressure with your presence.
With the presence. That's the best way to explain it. Yeah. I've experienced, and that's because I've been in with Matt a lot, and that's he just keeps inching forward. Yeah. Does that make sense? So he's not lunging, he's not coming at you. He just fucking just keeps
doesn't go away.
And has just always fucking, you know what I mean? Like man.
Similar to a beach, like the best way I'll try and explain it to the boys or to a novice is, mate, think of it like a beach. The rock face is there. Go back 50 years later, it's a little bit eroded. Go back 100 years later, it's a little bit more eroded because it's just wave by wave. Yeah. Sometimes the waves are bigger, sometimes they're faster, sometimes they're harder. Sometimes there's a fucking hurricane.
Sometimes you're throwing bombs.
Yeah, and just it's bit by bit, it's wave after wave.
Just chipping away.
Yeah, but then sometimes, depending on who you've got in the gym, we've got a kid who's 6'4", 75 kilos. We've got a kid who's 5'7" and 50 kilos. So they can't do the same thing, right?
The other one need a sparring partner?
Yeah.
That sounds like a guy I know.
Always need sparring partners, mate. Always welcome.
I'll come down.
Come down and have a spar, mate. Absolutely. We'll facilitate that. No dramas.
I love it. Yeah, I love it because I hate it. I sound like, let's get in the gym, I want to go spar, but the second I'm standing in the corner, I'm standing going, what the fuck am I doing?
100%. 100%.
Weirdest shit, man. And then when I walk out, I go, all right, let's do it again. You know what I mean? Like it's about as confronting as it can
most
get.
Confronting.
Can I ask you, Sam, who's your favourite boxer of all time? Or favourite boxers that you've over the years?
I've probably got a couple. I've got Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard, and Manny Pacquiao.
All three, right.
Yeah. They're my.
Did you go to Las Vegas to watch Manny?
Yeah, Dad and I watched Manny over there twice. First time we went when he fought Ricky Hatton, which was crazy. Like 10,000 poms flew over. It's
going crazy,
going mad, like just singing the whole time in the streets. They flooded Vegas, and that was when Pacquiao was at his best. And to this day, I've still never heard a shot land like that. He hit him with the left hand, and mate, I thought he was dead. And we were up sort of halfway up the back of the third level, and it sounded like someone pulled the trigger of a gun. Like he hit him so flush, so fast, But being there, it spurs you to another level, do you know what I mean? Like, I think everyone who loves boxing or combat should go to one of those fights. And not here, because Vegas is a different feel. It's it's experience. And then my cousins and I went back and watched his third fight with Juan Manuel Marquez, which is one of the greatest rivalries ever. And it was a split decision, another war. Mate, just gives you goosebumps thinking about it,
What about Jeff and Manny? Luckily we had Jeff on the pod, and we spoke about that fight.
Yep.
What's your opinion on that fight? Being because you and Matt, you'd be a little bit torn, right? But
definitely.
Can I ask you genuine opinions? Yeah. Like, did you look at that fight and think he won, or you did?
It was close. It was close. I don't think there was a clear winner.
Yep.
But
it wasn't a robbery, and Jeff won the fucking fight.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see that an Australian got a close decision for once. And it might have been that it was in Australia that it swayed it, but as it should, right? Like the government put up so much money, and there were 52,000 people.
And if it's dead even, like you said, going back to the count back in the thing,
it's close. And he pressed the fight, and I felt like he implemented his style a little bit more than Pacquiao did. Like Pacquiao might have landed the better shots.
Do you remember the 9th round? Was it the 9th round in the stool when the ref come over in the stuff? It just gets me every time. And he goes, "You need to show me something, Jeff.
Yeah.
You need to show me something, Jeff." And he's nearly like he was
out. He was out on his feet,
and then he gets up. And he's like, let's fucking go.
He was out on his feet, and but that's boxing. That's that adversity,
that's what I love about it,
and Horn is such a good representative or poster boy for boxing, because he's humble.
Well, the Vault just said adversity is
as fuck.
Yeah, man.
Like, he's so tough, you know what I mean? I remember when he come through the amateurs, he come out of nowhere and started beating guys who'd won 4 or 5 Australian titles in a row and just ragdolled them.
And it was just the toughness?
Yeah, just tough, fit, a little bit of an awkward style.
Yeah, he had that style that was different.
Yeah, so a little bit unorthodox, like their gym is known for that, but it's worked for them. They've produced so many good fighters. And obviously just that extra little bit, that ability to take himself to places where no one can go. He was one fight away from medaling at the Olympics, from breaking our drought in 2012. Right. And he just hit the ground running and exploded onto the scene. And to beat Manny Pacquiao, to be competitive with Pacquiao, you have to be good. To beat him,
60,000 people as well.
Yeah. And for me, he kick-started a little bit of a revolution in Australian boxing. Like, you think how many good fighters have come from then.
That got it back on the news,
It's a big deal, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Mate.
it got it back on the news when it probably hadn't
100%.
been for many, many, many years from the... what's the name of our mate?
Jocko and Danny Green?
No, from Williamstown.
Oh, Barry
Michael. That's Bazza. Yeah. Barry Michael days and stuff, sort of. Yeah, we had Bazza on the pod as well. He's a legend.
Sam, something that sort of sticks out to me with these amazing institutions, is getting the kids that are maybe, maybe getting tangled up with the wrong people and going down the path they shouldn't. Does any sort of example, or have you got any stories for us of, a kid that's maybe come in and you go, wow, like this kid's been tangled up here, tangled up there, and now they're at the gym that you've sort of seen get flying straight based on being introduced to a community such as this?
Look, nothing sort of really stands out, but there's so many, whether it's kids who are getting bullied or who were bullying kids, and it comes back to the point that they get humbled, and it's more about them staying in the gym, and then they'll come back later. So they might train for a couple of years, never box, but they'll come back in as adults. We've had kids who are fighting drug issues, got them into boxing. They might have had 1 or 2 fights, but turn their lives around, and that's been filtered forever since we've been here.
That's just constantly...
It's constant, because it's a society issue. And going back to that point we spoke about earlier, these issues are only trendy today, but they've been issues in society forever, for 100 years more, So that happens all the time, where kids come in, turn their lives around, or realise that they're fucking up. And don't want to do that anymore. And you might have a parent come in and thank Benny or my dad when he was still around.
Do you have any non-negotiables in the gym? Do you, Sam or Benny, where there's just certain things or a certain thing that's non-negotiable? Or
respect.
So it's just respect. As long as you come in here, respect your peers, respect the place.
Yeah, you fucking talk out of line, you'll get found out real quick, or you can go. There's a door at the front, there's a door at the back. Fuck off from either.
We don't care.
It's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. We won't stand for it, and that goes for my boxers as well. That goes for kids who are boxing for Australia, boxing for Victoria, blokes who have fought for world titles, Commonwealth titles. You don't treat people the right way, go.
Yeah, doesn't matter who you... And that goes back to, like you said, the lower type kids coming in and having a fight, but then, like you say, the ones at the top of the tree, they set the example,
That's
how you set an example, that's right.
Who do kids look up to? AFL footballers. They don't look at local footballers, with all due respect. They should, but they watch Scott Pendlebury and Darcy Moore and blokes like that, and so if they're acting like fuckwits, the kids will become fuckwits, won't they? Yeah. So
the influence is
it's a great responsibility to have to keep those role models in here, not knuckleheads.
Yeah.
100%. Now, Sammy, I've got a bit of a strange one. I was requested to ask this one for you.
Here we go. Here we go.
Talk to us, mate. I hear Matty tells me you're pretty passionate about how to throw a left hook.
Oh, yeah.
Talk to me, mate.
No, it's
Can you give me what do I need to know for my left hook?
What's your left hook right? Does
My
it need a
left
little bit of work, or are you pretty
it
happy?
Does. I can. I don't want to say it just in case my next opponent's studying me, but I throw a mean 2-3-2.
Yeah, well, you should. That size, that sort of reach. You should have a good
Well,
right
I figured
hand.
that out for myself, Sammy.
Yeah.
See, that's where I'm trying to bridge the gap through intelligence here,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I figured out. Me and ChatGPT are figuring it out.
Yeah.
But yeah,
The chat GPT
well,
pops up, Benny.
I figured out early on.
Don't say that. We won't have any gyms, mate. ChatGPT will take
Well, I
over.
figured out early with me throwing the jab. You get the high guard a fair bit. So I figured out a 2-3-2.
Yep.
They don't like it, man. You know what I mean?
So what's
sort of
that,
opens
2?
So a 2 is straight down, and it's sort of just when their hands are up, and it sort of gets their attention. Then the 3 is the hook, and you're throwing it. So then you knock their guard out of the way, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And then straight down the pipe, man.
Exactly.
So you clear the way, and you just straight down the pipe, and it's quick PK. It's 2-3-2 straight down there. So that's a good one.
Is
But
it
Sammy,
nice when it
enough
cuts
about
through?
my talents, dude. Let's get back to this left hook because what do I need to know? What am I doing? What's the technique?
Look, everyone has their own way of teaching something, and I'm just a big believer. Left hooks, long story short, a lot of coaches teach you to pivot the foot and land with the knuckle or the palm of the knuckle down, palm of the hand down.
Yep.
For me, I think that's so slow.
That's
like,
that.
If you just sit there and do that, that already isolates your shoulder. Your shoulder is by no means the biggest muscle or the strongest muscle in your body.
No, it's not always
Right?
sore.
So exactly. So if you think physically you're in the gym, what do you pick something heavy up with? Your legs, your back, the three big muscles, right?
Yeah.
So punching power and speed comes from incorporating your whole body. These three. So for me, it's about how you transfer your weight onto your front leg and the speed that you throw the hook with. Whether you turn your knuckle or turn your foot, it's irrelevant. And I just feel a lot of people these days teach it wrong because they read from a book or they're shown, but they don't go into the gym and they don't learn and they don't practice properly or they haven't seen it. Like I could show you 1,000 left hooks. And you think of the best punchers in history, the best left hooks: Joe Frazier, Mike Tyson.
Well, I was looking
Canelo.
at the Russian. Well, when I was over at the gym over there, they were doing that Russian sort of.
Yeah. So they have their own version where they throw it more from long and they throw a check hook.
Yeah, the check. Yeah.
And theirs is all about scoring points at long range and using that leverage. But traditionally, especially professional boxing, when you throw the left hook to knock someone out, you don't throw it to score. You throw it to hurt someone. It's a catastrophic punch.
Right. I've never looked at it like that.
Yeah. Now the left hook should be thrown to hurt someone. It should be a finisher, and you've got to generate the most force in the shortest amount of time possible. Let's transfer your weight onto your front leg, incorporate your hip, and get the shot from you to them in an instant.
Bang.
So it's the transfer of weight and the use of the hips opposed to the shoulder.
Yeah.
Making yourself turn that knuckle.
Yeah.
So which way, if I'm throwing a hook, am I landing like knuckles?
I would prefer like that,
Like
palm
that.
facing you, palm in,
That's how I naturally
because
do it.
that's quicker.
Correct.
And you go
That's
back
what
to
feels natural.
Instinctively, boxing's all about instincts.
Yeah, that's more natural
So-
for me. Yeah.
What you're going to do in the ring is going to be instinctive,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So you've got to train the best instincts possible.
Yeah,
That's
you're not
what
going to be
boxing's
turning. You're
about.
not going to be remembered to turn your
You
knuckle.
don't have time. Yeah, you
You're
just
gonna be
don't have
throwing it.
time. You're going to hit with a couple of shots. So, yeah.
I'm just hearing fast and get the legs involved, get the big muscles
Mate.
involved.
So it's one thing
It's
I've
speed.
learned.
Boxing's explosive,
Yeah,
right?
Land. Let's land that.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the one thing that I've learned over the journey, and especially like the transformation of my body and the strength to be able to, I guess, do the rounds and whatever. It's body, man. It's your core. Like everything's coming from your legs and your core. If that kind of makes sense, you know what
It's
I
the
mean?
whole lot. And that's why boxercise and boxing fitness is so popular because it's a full body workout.
Yeah,
It
the hands
incorporates
just
it.
get the credit.
Yeah.
Correct.
The work
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Exactly.
So, Sammy, talk to us, man. You've got a lot going on. You're part of the Australian your coaching team. You're working towards LA.
Yep.
You've got some boys you're working. What's the plan with the gym? Where do you see what do you see Brizzi Brothers doing over the coming years and the direction you want to take it?
In the short term, it's trying to get a few boys to box for Australia. We've got 4 or 5 kids, all in their early 20s.
Do they have an over 45s Olympics?
They might. They have a World Masters Games,
Oh, do
so
they
that's
really?
something to keep your eye on. Yeah, which is pretty big. It's gaining traction. So
Sammy, you and me, mate, we might have to.
You never know. You never know. Absolutely. But short term, it's getting a few of our boys up to that sort of level or aiming to, and they've all got LA 28 firmly in their minds.
And you too, like you've obviously, it's a dream for you to get back another Olympics and be a part of it. Like I can only imagine what, all kids grow up, don't you, PK? If you're into sport, what it'd be like to be an Olympian or to be around that sort of environment.
Yeah. To work towards it, whether you're in the ring or outside. It's a big deal, man.
Absolutely. And like with me, without playing the violin, like I was never allowed to box because of a medical issue when I was a kid.
We never asked you that.
Yeah, no, that's all right. That's all right. We can come back to it. But so my first dreams were boxing for Australia.
Yeah, of course.
Being our first Olympic gold medalist, right? That was always my dream. And so that sort of, with the cards that I've been dealt, I've had to achieve that in other ways, and coaching has been my calling, as it turns out.
How old were you when you found out that you couldn't, that the dream was over? And what was...
17. I just finished high school and
you've been boxing, you're probably pretty handy.
Yeah, I'd like to think so. Well, we would have found out, wouldn't we? And that's sort of like the thing that bothers me, right? Like in my mind, mate, I'm 120-0 shadow boxing. I haven't lost a round yet.
So you've never had a fight?
Nah.
So I'm 1-0 and Sammy Brizzi.
That's it, mate. That's it. But so you got a better record than me.
What was it though then, Sammy? What was the condition?
I had epilepsy as a kid, and like I grew out of it. I'm all good now. But doctors weren't prepared to sign me off on it, obviously because of what if. That big question.
Epilepsy's scary, man. I had a family friend that I grew up with. Shout out Chris, he's probably watching, but he had epilepsy as well. So I sort of got to see it as a little bit of a kid. Yeah. Yeah, right. So then what does that do to you, Sam? Like,
at the time, mate, like...
That's your dream, dude.
Yeah, in hindsight, it wasn't a big deal, but my world fell apart at the time. Like, it's the only time I've sort of ever been close to being depressed or, because... I just thought it would happen. I thought it was my fate. I thought it was just written in the stars. And I still remember coming out of the doctor's clinic and just being heartbroken. Like, I couldn't even tell my parents that I'd failed.
Yeah, how was the old man? Well, you tell the old man.
Look, I don't think Dad wanted me to box necessarily. I know he would have supported me and pushed me all the way if it did pan out. But knowing how hard it is and how brutal it is, I'm not sure he really wanted me to, and he never pushed me towards it. I was in the gym because I was with my dad, I was with my uncle. And this is where I wanted to be. It was the second time I ever saw him cry, to be honest. And I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that he would react that way. And it's the second time I ever saw him cry because he knew what it meant to me. Yeah.
Have you ever done anything else, Sam?
Bits and pieces, but nothing with real conviction. Everything I ever did was always going to be centering back to here.
And you were always going to take over the family boxing? It was in stone?
No, I thought I was going to be the one that would take the name to another level through my boxing. As delirious and arrogant as that sounds,
I'll show you how to do it, Dad.
Completely intent that I was going to show how good they are through my career. I truly believed I was going to be Australia's first Olympic gold medalist and go on to have this and that.
How old are you, Sam?
Have a guess. We'll see if this podcast turns pear-shaped.
Well, you know what? I'm going to, because I think I've got a bit of
maths.
No, there was something that made me think you were younger than me before. So I think maybe when you were talking years, I reckon about 42.
38. Not far.
Not far. I was going to say 40 and I went up to.
No, that's all right. That's all right. I haven't aged real well.
38. You know what? You're spot on. Yeah. Okay, cool. 38. Yeah, that makes sense. I was just trying to think of who was coming through. Like who were the Australian fighters around that time? Who would you have been fighting?
What was that? 2005. There was some good fighters. I probably would have got my head punched in. I should be grateful that I wasn't allowed to box, to be honest. But
I doubt it.
Nah, look, there's always been good fighters through Australia's history. At the time, that was like when Green and Mundine were at the peaks of their powers. Right. So probably would have been a bit after them. But look, it's all hearsay now.
What weight would you have fought at?
Probably middle or light heavy.
What's that?
Middle in the amateurs at 75, maybe super middleweight if I ever turn pro, or 79, depending how strict I was with my pastor and the beers. But look, it's all hearsay now. It is what it is. At the time, I didn't see why it happened. You just deal with it.
Do you believe in things happen for a reason? Now that you say that, like you can look back and you can rationalise it a bit, because that's a great.
I don't think you can categorically say things happen for a reason. Maybe in this instance, yes. I had a dream that I died in the ring as well as a kid. So who knows? Who knows how that would have panned out? I vividly remember having a dream when I was about 14 that
waking up,
I got killed in the ring.
Shit.
Yeah. So who knows? Who knows?
Maybe you were chosen for something more important,
Maybe.
Sammy, which is helping the crew come through.
Maybe a tragedy was avoided. Who knows? Maybe I would have died in the ring.
Wow. Think about on the
like
flip
if they
side
didn't know
of
I
that.
had epilepsy or there was problems. Who knows? But
On the flip side of that, how many lives have you changed? Has the Brizzi Brothers gym changed, or you directly, you yourself, Sam? Do you know what I mean? So you've had that one thing.
How many more to come?
Yeah, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like it's crazy when you look at it and you put it into perspective like that.
Yeah, and with Benny, with my uncle, that's the thing he's proudest of. Like how many kids' lives he's changed without sounding like a wanker.
Well, he should be, because it's real and it's true, man.
Yeah. And for him, it's like he's proud that they've got a gym or a place where they're comfortable, and it might be an achievement. It might be them losing weight, or it might be them facing their bully at school, which is huge, right? Like if we all
just making better decisions, Sam.
Yeah.
Because I said to you when I came in, like, if I had to come into this gym when I first heard about it as a youngster in year 7 or whatever, I reckon my life would have been a lot less complicated than it was. Does that make? It definitely would have been, because you could get anchored to somewhere and to
somewhere good.
To get anchored to somewhere good.
Exactly.
Instead of getting anchored to, because you're gonna anchor yourself. So everyone anchors themselves somewhere.
They find something, don't they?
They find something, right? And I found nightclubs and DJing and partying
but you
and
need to
whatever.
do that as well.
Yeah, and I
right?
don't
Like
regret any of it.
Yeah.
But I just wish it was paired a little earlier with finding something like a gym and some coaches like yourself and Benny to maybe get me flying straight. But I love it. I told you I've got all 3 of my kids. You said, Sam, and we were talking earlier, you said you believe that combat should be part of school curriculum.
100%.
And I believe that as well. And I believe that to the point that since all 3 of my kids turned 5, they've all done jiu-jitsu, and they can choose to do boxing, but they have to do jiu-jitsu. Just like parents make their kids do swimming. My kids did swimming.
You know what? No word of a lie. My kids were my boys were fighting me and bashing me. They bashed me. They're 4.5, and I was looking up jiu-jitsu Geelong last night.
Man, and you should, and you can hear.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to let you talk on it, Sam, because you're on the front line there. But tell us what makes you believe that, and what makes you think that. Do you know what I mean? 'Cause I categorically agree.
It's a real Bonnie.
And
it's direction. It's focus. Kids these days, they've got so many distractions that can shape them good or bad with social media. All kids have energy, right? Nervous, good, bad. Some kids are quite introverted. Some are loud and think they're a lot tougher or a lot smarter than what they really are. Combat humbles you. If you think you're on a pedestal and you think you're better than everyone, or you think you're tougher than someone, you get humbled real quick, whether you're getting hit in the face or dropped with a body shot, choked out in jiu-jitsu, kicked in the head, whatever it is. On the flip side, if you're introverted and you're quiet and you sort of walk around in a shell, when you realise that you can fight a little bit, or at minimum protect yourself, that the bully isn't as bad as he looks, or they're not as tough as they seem.
You don't have to be scared.
Or standing up to them and saying, "Okay, let's go out to the school. Let's go out to the cricket ground, mate. I'll meet you at 3:30." We've had stories of it in our gym. We've had family members of it. I remember I was asked to teach a bully a lesson in humility. And it's prolific. We're all violent. I'm a big believer by nature.
It's human,
we're human instincts. Like, what are the 2 oldest vocations?
Primal instincts, I don't know. For sure.
Soldiers, war.
Gatherers, hunters,
Gatherers, hunters. We've been fighting for as long as mankind. And we're always going to want to fight. Hence why the UFC is so popular, right? Because people love brutality. Think back to the Roman Empire, and people used to go to church Sunday morning and then go watch people kill each other or try and kill each other after church. And so it's nurturing and controlling human instincts. We all have that ability, and we all have that want to fight, to be violent. It's built in us, and we can all bullshit. We can all lie and kid ourselves. We're only a few chromosomes away from being mammals and dragging our knuckles still, right? Honestly, that's evolution, right? That's truth. That's fact. We think it's wrong to have those primal thoughts. It's not. We see a beautiful woman, we're attracted to her. A woman sees a good-looking guy, she's attracted to him. there's parts of us, some more than others, who need to be violent, who want to be violent. What we found is the ones who are like that, who are a little bit more aggressive, when they start boxing, they control that urge, or they have an outlet. They can hit someone. They can get hit on the chin. You know, some people like being hit. I'm sure you would have found when you got hit, like, initially it's like, what the fuck?
It was confronting the first time. Yeah, you remember it, man.
You need it.
Yeah.
Nothing wakes you up.
I told you
How'd
about
you feel when you got out of the ring after your fight or after your first spar?
I actually got hit in the first. I got an overhand right in the first 30 seconds of the fight, but that woke me up.
Yeah.
And then I heard Matt yell
Exactly
from the corner,
right.
"Put your fucking hands up!"
Exactly right.
But I was telling you about a hit with Agger, and I tell Agger all the time, like one sparring with one of my mates. I remember it. Like, I thought I was going to pull my teeth out with my mouth guard. You know what I mean? And it was just a flush hit on the chin.
Yeah.
My chin went numb. And it does. It confronts you. It makes you wonder if you want to go back again. You know what I mean?
But there would have been a little part of you like, fuck yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
sick. Because you want to do it again.
Well, because you
Right.
feel like you got through the adversity.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? You
Yeah,
achieved
correct,
something.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Correct. And so I think it teaches kids to be disciplined. It teaches them to be humble, but it gives them an outlet, right? Like, you think back when we were kids, you wrestled with your mates all the time, didn't you? Like, and sometimes it started out friendly and then it got a little bit nasty and then you calmed down again.
Yeah.
So violence is inherent in people. We just need to control it and need to show them that there's a time and a place for it.
And
you avoid that. You avoid kids walking the streets with fucking machetes and bashing grannies and invading houses.
doing dumb
and like,
shit.
Mate, come do it here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I welcome you.
controlled
Any of you kids out there who think you're tough,
controlled and legal.
this is an open forum. Any of you kids out there who think you're fucking tough,
Come in.
come to Browning Street and we'll see how tough you are. And you might punch one of our heads in,
Yeah.
but we might punch one of your heads in. But I guarantee you,
They'll walk out with respect. Because
self-respect.
Even with
It's not
self-respect,
just respect for you or me. It's self-respect. That's
And
the greatest kind of respect.
Yeah, I've always told my kids, Sam, about the fighting and stuff, because you can think that, you know, other parents, I guess, parents of my friends' kids and whatever know that we're a bit of a fighting family, you know what I mean? But the reality is, like I said to my kids, I'm not teaching you kids to fight because I want you to fight.
Yeah.
I'm teaching you kids to fight so you never, ever have to fight.
yeah.
Because fight or flight, you keep saying, Sammy.
Yep.
You find yourself in a sticky situation, it's fight or flight. You run, you potentially get chased, you get caught, whatever happens. If you fright, then you don't have the skill set to look after yourself, but of course you panic, so you go to fight and you find yourself in a bad situation. But if you learn jiu-jitsu or boxing, or you have the confidence that you can look after yourself, when you're in that higher intense situation, that's when you've got the skills, because you've been in the sparring and you're not going to shit yourself and fight or fright. You'll be able to diffuse the situation.
Exactly.
You can actually, there's a
control
third,
it.
because there's a third thing, and people go, there's fight or flight, but I think there's a third thing. If you learn combat sport, if you can look after yourself, there's fight, flight, or diffuse. You can stand there and say, hey mate, man, let's not do this. You know what I mean?
There's no need.
And there's a chance that you can diffuse the situation. You end up not having to fight, opposed to if you didn't learn how to protect yourself, you end up in the fight because you shit yourself and you've got to panic.
Think you had to fight.
And you think you had to fight when you don't have to
It's
fight.
awareness as well, right?
Yeah.
Like, I've been in situations when you went out when you were younger and you think, this is going to kick off.
Yeah.
Let's go. Because the alternative on the street, there's no rules, there's no doctor, there's no ring, there's no referee.
No weight classes.
And, you know, one wrong shot, mate, you hit someone, you kill them. And for what?
And you ruin your whole life because you
You
didn't know
ruin
how
two
to
lives.
control yourself in that situation.
Yeah, you know, and it might not even be that you had that intent, but you hit someone and they fall the wrong way. Like,
Well, it happens.
it can be catastrophic, right? Like, and so that's what you want to avoid. You've got that self-respect, but you don't need to go out and prove yourself, or you can sense when there's going to be an issue and you can walk away from it.
Oh, awesome, Sammy, man. This has been a crazy chat, and I'm wrapped. Like Benny organises everything. I just left the office. I was 10 minutes late, and you're rocking to this joint, mate. This is history.
Thank you.
This has got
Place.
special place, and I wish you all the best
Thank you,
for the journey that you're going on and all the good things that you're doing. And congratulations. And it sounds like, man, you've just been more important outside the ring than you could have ever been in it. You know what I mean?
Well, I haven't touched on it. I just want to make it, but Sammy's like really, really involved with the amateur boxing here as well, man. This dude's not only running the gym, but correct me if I'm wrong, you're out there officiating, supplying the gloves, and like you know.
So our family on that through Dad and Benny.
So this is Boxing Victoria.
Anything I do is just enhancing their legacy. It's just standing on their shoulders. That's it, and that's the way I see it. My calling in life now is to enhance their legacy, and along with my cousin Ben, and who's in the gym every night with us, Benny's son.
How old's he?
He'd probably get upset if I actually told you, but he's in his early 50s.
Cool.
Yeah, that's Ben Jr., who, mate, like, crazy story there. Born without limbs below his knee, one of the first people in Australia to have a prosthetic leg. He's one of my biggest inspirations, honestly. It's such a crazy story that we've got. Can
we get him on the pod?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're getting him on the pod.
And he's doing such good work with NDIS now.
We love a crazy story.
If you look up AmpuBox on Instagram, you'll see his page. And he's a legend, So it's family. It's about our surname being carried to where it should be, to where I believe it should be.
Yeah.
So I'm riding on we're riding on their coattails, and I want them to be synonymous with boxing, but not just boxing, but good things, being good people.
Yeah, there's more to it, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. If we don't get that right, we won't get the results.
Yeah.
And so no, thank you for coming and showing a little bit of our story. Like two little brothers who caught a boat over from Calabria, and the family come over like Noah's Ark in the 40s and that. Yeah, to have a little bit of an institution and our little piece of something special that we love, very cool.
Oh, mate, it's cool. Super, super cool. And I think the legacy is even stronger than you can even wrap your head around, because when you're so close to it, you probably don't realise how far it ripples out. And like I said, it was rippling out when I was a kid.
Yep.
And we've got another 3-4 decades of what you guys have stacked on top.
You get reminders, like when we buried Dad, one of our boxers from those days was there just sobbing, like in his 60s, sobbing. And we get invited to weddings, and you get mentioned in speeches, and you think, I shouldn't be getting mentioned in speeches, and they say
just
that
the power of the impact
the
of
effect
these
that you have, and we still catch up with families for Christmas year by year, and might not sound like much, but when they haven't been in the gym for 20 years, 30 years, or brothers are asking you to catch up and inviting you to special family occasions, it does mean a lot, and it's a nice reminder of that what you're doing is affecting people in a good way, not just teaching them how to fight, and not just wins or losses. Which I get caught up in. I am guilty of.
Well, 1-0 over here, Sammy.
I think some others do as well, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. But at the base of it all, it's about how you treat people, and good things will come from those who are good to others.
Well done, Sam. Congratulations, mate.
No, thank you.
Mad respect, Sam.
Thank you.
Well
Thanks,
done,
boys.
mate.
Appreciate it.
Please like, share, subscribe. See you at the top. That was a cracker.
Let's go!
People want to be part of a winning team.
People can find a better version of themselves if they choose.
You just need to go start some shit. Action is all that matters.
Be a man of your word. I think I look back now and I'm like, whoa, that took some guts.
Be kind, be kind, be kind.